Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Grace and I make a lot of motherhood, early motherhood kind of content, but we mix in a little bit of family travel and family adventure. So if that sounds like something you would enjoy, I would love for you to consider subscribing. We are a small community, but we're a growing community and we would love for you to join us. So today's video, I kind of want to jump right in. I am so excited. We're going to talk children's books. I love children's books. I know I make a lot of mom content, so this is like primarily aimed at, moms and dads with young children, but I feel like there's a lot of adults, myself included, who love children's books. They're just so fun and imaginative and it brings you back to your childhood. So I'm going to talk my favorites. This video is going to be primarily aimed at like the board books, the really, really young ones. As my children get older, I'll make more of these and talk like other children's books, because some of my favorites actually will be more like when they're 3-4 years old. But I love the ones I'm going to talk about. I will have everything linked down below. I also will have everything on my Amazon storefront, which is also linked down below. So, and there's even a couple more on there that I'm not even going to talk about. But I am so excited. So let's jump right in. So the first couple of series of books that I'm going to talk about kind of have a similar theme, and that is being able to introduce things that you love as a parent to your children. And I know your kids are going to find their own interests, but I think one of the really, really neat things about becoming a parent is being able to share things that you love as a parent. So first things, you'll probably have heard of these before, but you might not know how extensive this series is, and they are the Good Night books. Okay, so you will see a pattern with what my husband and I love. We have Good Night Campsite. We have Good Night Grand Teton, which is a national park very close to where we live. We have Good Night Yellowstone, which is very close to Grand Teton. And then we also have Good Night Coral Reef, which I love scuba diving. It's like my favorite thing to do in the world. And so these books are they're so beautiful. They have so many different categories, and so you don't have to be into like camping and outdoors like we are. They have Good Night literally pretty much everything. And they also have Good Night cities, so like Good Night Houston, Good Night Detroit, Good Night Los Angeles. So wherever you live, if you live or frequent a big city, you can find a book like that. It goes through all the specifics of that task or that activity or that city. If you do a city one, like, well, I don't have a city one, but Yellowstone, let's use that as an example. Our girls have been to Yellowstone many a time in their short lives, but as they get older, we'll be able to show them like, oh, this is the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone. You've been there. And then, oh, here's Mammoth Hot Springs. You've been there, So it'll be able to kind of harken back to places that they've been and hopefully places that they're going. So if you have places specifically that you are near and dear to your heart, I think these are really, really beautiful and my girls love them. Next ones, these are some of my favorites. I love these so much. And they are the alphabet books, basically. Every single one is going to be called something different. So we have F is for fairy tale. Again, I love fairy tales. I worked at Disneyland, all that, so I love to share that with them. We also have C is for camping. And B is for bison. This is all about national parks. So again, things that we're interested in and things that we're able to share. There's a whole bunch of these that I want to get. There's an O is for ocean. There's J is for jazz and M is for music. Again, there's so many different types of these books. There's a school one, there's holidays. So whatever is important to you as a parent that you want to share with your kids, you can probably find these. They go through the alphabet, every single one. And the illustrations in these books is truly extraordinary. It's by this guy named Greg Paparocki. I follow him on Instagram, and you can order prints through him, which I'm for sure going to. I'll show you the one I'm going to order for their nursery once we have a nursery for them. Oh my gosh, this is the exact vibe that I'm going to go for in their nursery. So Greg, you'll be hearing from me. This one, oh my gosh. I hope that's focusing. But it's U is for unicorn. Look how beautiful that is. This is the vibe that I want for their nursery. So I'm going to hopefully order a print from him. But these are just the most gorgeous. This is the style of art that I love. So I don't know. I can't say enough wonderful things about these books. They are so beautiful, so captivating, and they're so detailed as well. So my girls love looking at them now because they're so colorful, but as they get older, they're going to be able to notice so many details. So, and also, small detail, I love the size of these books. Some children's books are so huge, and then some are so small. These are like the perfect children's book size. So, yeah. Go follow Greg Paprocki on Instagram. Thank me later. The next ones, these are another way that you can share your love of something with your kids, and those are the baby lit books. So I have Anne of Green Gables, because I love Anne of Green Gables. I have Little Women, which is one of my favorite stories of all time. And then this is not based on literature necessarily, but this is The Adventures of John Muir, and he's one of my outdoorsy heroes. And they have so many different ones. They have Pride and Prejudice, they have Frankenstein, they have all the classic literature. And the cool thing about these ones are specifically for like babies. And so they're really, really simple on the inside. Writing. And then it talks about, it has a quote from the book about writing. Let's see. Oh, I'll show you. There's one in this one that's really, really beautiful. And if you're an Anne of Green Gables fan, oh yes. The White Way of Delight from Anne of Green Gables. So these ones are specifically for babies, but then they actually, for the same novels, they have like one level up. So as your baby is, you know, a toddler or a small child, it goes a little bit more in depth on the story, but it's still, you know, a picture book. And I think they're still board books. And so your baby doesn't have to be, you know, 6 months old. You could get the next one up if you have a little bit older of a child. But if there's a specific novel that you love, like Anne of Green Gables or Pride and Prejudice or Persuasion or whatever, you could find the children's book version of that and share that with your child. So I think they're really beautiful. Okay, we're done with the series at this point. These are all just standalone books. I have 4 more to share with you. So this book is one of the most beautiful books. I love it, and I love everything about it. The illustrations are gorgeous. The meaning of it is gorgeous. And it's called Tomorrow I'll Be Brave, and it's by Jessica Heisch. I'm not sure how you say it. I'm sorry, Jessica. But she is, I don't want to say this wrong, a typographer. So basically that means she designs absolutely beautiful text. And so this book is all about trying to be your best self if you can. And so it talks about tomorrow I will be strong. And then it talks about that. And then tomorrow I will be creative. And then at the end, I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's like if I didn't achieve all that, I can try again tomorrow. But it is such a beautiful book. Okay, I have to show you my favorite page. I want this blown up and put above a fireplace. I think it's so beautiful. Tomorrow I'll be curious. Look at this gorgeousness. I hope that my camera is picking up all of this. I think it is so stunning. Oh, and again, it's camping, being outdoors. So obviously that's why I love it. And she also has a follow-up book that I don't have for them yet. I think it's called Tomorrow I'll Be Kind. Hope that's right. I'll try to pop up a picture of it for you guys to see. But that's probably going to be a Christmas present for the girls because they love looking at this book. I love reading it to them. So I'll get the follow-up. And I hope she keeps making these books, but 10 out of 10 recommend. Next book. This was actually a gift from one of my students when I was a teacher. And it's because somehow I became the duck teacher and my kids brought me rubber ducks, and so I literally had dozens and dozens of rubber ducks around my classroom. And so one of my kids brought me, which I had no idea how much this cost. I mean, it probably wasn't crazy expensive, but like, so it's like $15 probably. and it's called The Duckling Gets a Cookie. And it's part of the Pigeon series. And I had seen so many of these, and I literally was just like, why are these so popular? Like, I hadn't read them. It just, I was fully judging, you know, the books based on the covers. But then I started reading this to my girls. I kid you not, I was laughing out loud. Laughing out loud. And I had my husband read it to them, and he was laughing too. So I want to get more of these books. This is the only one I have. On the back, it shows you all the different ones. There's Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus. The Pigeon Wants a Puppy. The Pigeon Has to Go to School. And this pigeon has so much sass and has so much realness, you know, like as an adult, I was relating to this pigeon. No, but they're super simple, so little kiddos totally grasp it and love looking at the cute little pictures. But as an adult, the humor is there. And so I totally recommend these books. Don't judge them on the cover if you haven't read these yet. This would be a great Christmas gift. 2 more. I have a customizable book that I'm about to share with you, and then I'm going to share with you my favorite children's book of all time. So, this I gave to my husband for Father's Day. Or his birthday. No, Father's Day. It's called The Story of My Daddy. I made this online. Every single one of those, you know, photo websites, you can make books like this, little board books. So I don't even remember which one I made this on. If I can remember, I will link it down below. But you have a plethora of different choices. But basically, I just took pictures of my husband with the girls and added some little text, and the girls love looking at this. They love it because they get to see pictures of their daddy and then also pictures of themselves, and it's really simple. So, I mean, you don't have to write it how I did, but I think this is a fantastic gift for a first-time mom or first-time dad or first-time grandparents or something like that. And it wasn't crazy expensive either. I think it was like maybe $20, but it might have even been less than that. So I would recommend that. Again, I will look back in my emails and figure out which company I actually used. I'm really happy with that. I think it's really good quality. So, okay, final book. When it comes to itty-bitty children's books, this is my favorite, and this actually could be for older children as well. This is like one of my all-time favorite children's books of all time. And let me tell you, there's a tiny bit of a backstory behind this, but I'll show you what the book is first. It's called I'm Not Scared by Dan Crisp and Lee Wildish. Let me tell you the little backstory of this book and then explain why it's very, very hard to find. So I used to be an ESL teacher. I lived and worked in Hong Kong first. And I worked at an after-school kind of, it was not a daycare, it was an actual school, but a lot of our students were younger. And so we utilized children's books a lot to help teach English. And so in one of the classrooms, they had this book, I'm Not Scared. I loved reading this to the kids. It doesn't have a huge moral, story, lesson at the end, but the illustrations are adorable. The whole book rhymes, and it talks about how this little cat is not scared of anything. He's not scared of skeletons. He's not scared of the basement. He's not scared of spiders or crocodiles or dinosaurs or dragons, and the illustrations are just gorgeous. So I loved reading this because I got to use lots of voices and silliness. So the whole time I lived there, I was thinking, whenever I have kids, someday I'm going to buy this book for them. So fast forward, I lived there like 8 years ago. And so now I have children. So I went looking for this book. I guess this book is completely out of print. And so it's really hard to find. And the few copies that I was able to find at first were like $75 or something. Because I don't know if it's considered like a collector's item, but it's just really hard to find. But so I can't link this one down below necessarily, but how I was able to find this is I went to a couple different online thrift store websites, and you can check things like half price books, I'm sure, but I don't think I was able to find it. But I just found a random online thrift store, and they had this for like $4 or something like that. And so, y'all, I snatched that so fast. So, I totally recommend going and on the hunt for this one. It is so cute and adorable, and I just want to shake Dan and Lee's hand. That's how much I love this book. And my girls love it, and it's so cute. It's so cute. But it is really hard to find. So, good luck on the hunt for I'm Not Scared, because it's hard to find, but it's worth it. So, there you go. Those are my favorites. I would love to hear your favorites. Comment them down below. Share the love. I'm always wanting to buy more books for my babies. I would love to write my own children's book someday, and I know that's a very common dream for people. So let me know your favorites so I can get some more for Christmas. Christmas is coming up. In the next little bit, I'll make a part 2 of this with slightly older books, including my favorite children's book of all time. Can't wait, but it's just a little bit too advanced for my girls right now. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. I had so much fun making it, and I hope that you guys will consider subscribing, coming back, joining. We have some very, very big announcements coming down the pipeline, like within the next few weeks. So hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out, because some big life-changing stuff is coming. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.